Tonight on CTV News at 6, bracing for another wet weekend. An already soggy city on the verge of breaking a rainfall record. Gibbons has decided its future.
The community clearly has spoken, and they are trusting what we're putting forth.
And competitive climbing in Edmonton's River Valley.
It's one of the few competitions we have in Canada where we have U.S. athletes come up to compete as well.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. The city is preparing for a third round of heavy rain hitting us this weekend. The precipitation could be historic, pushing this June into first place as our rainiest ever. As Amanda Anderson reports, the wet weather has already caused a number of problems in the River Valley, from erosion near the high-level bridge to the delayed opening of a new bike park.
These barricades on the east side of the high-level bridge went up late Thursday after an inspection found problems with the sidewalk.
The wood railing on the side of the sidewalk, you'll see that it went from being straight to being at an angle. And so what we're seeing is that the ground underneath is moving. It's moving towards the river valley. And so we have to make sure that our sidewalk is on firm base.
Part of the turn lane at the south end of the bridge is also closed as a precaution. It's not known how long the closures are for.
And so the bridge structure, the bridge itself is 100% safe.
Further down in the river valley, more warning signs, this time urging bikers to stay off the trails.
We need to give the trails time to dry out before we're back on them. It does cause large rutting, holes, things like that within the trails, which can make it worse.
He says having to repair trails takes volunteers away from work at the new Edmonton Bike Park. The rain has already pushed back its summer opening, likely until the fall.
It's definitely disheartening. We were really excited to get this open as soon as possible. And then we are still hoping we can kind of slowly open different trails as they become completed.
More than 100 millimeters of rain soaked the region last weekend, and we are expecting another wet weekend. Pascal Adusara says the city's landslide and erosion management team will be keeping an even closer eye on the 60 sites it routinely monitors for problems.
Right now we have over 20 sites that have been reported as having impacts. It can go from a crack in a trail, a washout or an erosion like we're seeing on the high-level bridge, or concerns about just high water flow in some of our creeks.
To keep water out of your home, double check eaves troughs are clear and water is running away from the foundation. Also check some pumps and backwater valves. If water usage restrictions are needed again, EPCOR says a notification will go out. It is encouraging people to think about using less water. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, Josh, all eyes on basements and backyard rain gauges this weekend.
Yeah, this will not be as much rain as we had last weekend. That's sort of the silver lining. It's still going to be a lot of rain, though. We'll get to the heat warnings and severe thunderstorm watches in a second. This dark blue zone, which actually extends all the way to Edson, that's an orange level rainfall warning. So that's stepped up as far as the impact that the rain's going to have. This is a yellow level rainfall warning off to the southeast. In general, about 40 to 70 in that light blue zone. In general, about 50 to 90, and a higher risk of overland flooding in through that dark blue zone. I don't want you to write these rainfall totals in stone because they're going to change every time the models come in. In fact, a couple hours ago, it had Edmonton up over 80 millimeters by the end of the weekend. It's backed off since then. But I want you to see, where is the heaviest rain? Well, it's up around Whitecourt and then down through Edmonton towards Coronation. That's kind of this elongated bullseye. And in the Edmonton area, by the end of the day tomorrow, I think anywhere between 20 and 50 millimeters. So this model's pretty in line with that at about 40. And then we'll see lesser amounts Sunday, but still, we're going to get close to 60, maybe 70 millimeters worth of rain by the end of the weekend in Edmonton. Heavier amounts potentially off to the northwest. And with ground that is already saturated in many areas, flooding will be a real problem. Now, Jeff mentioned off the top, this could be a historic weekend for rainfall. We're already at 203. You can see the record for June is 217. I will be shocked if we don't get more than 15 millimeters, which would make this the wettest June, and it would also move this up the list. I don't think we get here, but we probably get to the second wettest month, period, not just June, but of any month that Edmonton has ever had. We're going to do a little more detail on the forecast in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Josh. An association representing hundreds of Alberta construction companies is urging Fort McMurray to leave Highway 63 maintenance to the province. The municipality feels it can do a better job of maintaining the only highway in and out of town. The association argues it would be letting the province off the hook for one of its financial responsibilities. Here's Matt Woodman.
People can see that the highways are deteriorating. They sure can.
Ron Glenn runs the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association. He says he wasn't surprised when dozens of volunteers in Fort McMurray started patching potholes on Highway 63 themselves.
It's kind of sad. I mean, it's a bad look for Alberta.
Since last year, the municipality of Wood Buffalo has been in talks with the province to take over maintenance of Highway 63. 4 days after the volunteer group was out repairing the road, Glenn wrote a letter to the municipality urging it to leave highway maintenance to the province.
We understand that the municipality is very close to the people and they're feeling the brunt of all the complaints. But as we wrote to them, be careful of what you're taking on here.
In a statement, Wood Buffalo's mayor says Highway 63 needs to improve as soon as possible. Sandy Bowman believes one way to make things better is for the municipality to oversee spring and summer maintenance of an 18-kilometer stretch of the highway that runs through Fort Mac. That way, the municipality can immediately discuss it with the people doing the work instead of calling the province for help.
You may want to do well by your constituents, but what we ask them is to join us in advocating for a real increase to the highway budget to start catching up on these highways that are deteriorating. Fort McMurray thing is just the tip of the iceberg.
Glenn says provincial data shows the number of highways in poor condition has been increasing, and based on inflation, highway maintenance budgets have been stagnant or dropping since 2010. We asked Alberta's transportation minister if the province could increase that budget this year.
We'll go into the budget process in the new year with an adequate budget ask to make sure that we can maintain the services that Albertans need.
When it comes to Highway 63, Dreeshen says negotiations with Wood Buffalo are ongoing.
If I was a gambling man, I'd probably say by next summer we could see a new agreement between the province and the RM of Wood Buffalo.
Until then, Dreeshen says his ministry has been working to prioritize the repair work on Highway 63, and the contractor has been making pothole repairs since April 1st. Matt Woodman, CTV News, Edmonton.
The town of Gibbons has voted to remain a municipality despite millions of dollars of debt. Connor Hogg joins us now. Connor, what's the mood like today in town?
Jeff, one Gibbons councillor says they're elated by the 68% vote in favour. Councillor Ashley Morrison says town council sees this as a vote of confidence in them and their financial plan.
The community clearly has spoken, and they are trusting what we're putting forth. The proof will be in the pudding when we're the full year in.
The town still faces $13 million in debt, which is what triggered the vote on the community's status, based on a provincial viability review. The town had overstated revenues in its 2025 budget, had failed to disclose operating deficits for 5 years, and used cash reserves and borrowing capacity to cover operating expenses. Morrison says Gibbons wants to see future regulations that would prevent other towns from falling into the same financial situation. Alberta's Association of Rural Municipalities says a discussion on checks and balances is a good idea.
We do have an opportunity to improve the process so it's fair and equitable for both sides. And honestly, making sure that we're focusing on what the actual issues are, leave the politics at the door, and really focus on what the key challenges are in these communities.
Morrison says town council is already implementing its financial turnaround plan. That includes adjusting community service delivery, like off-season closures of the town arena, cutting its Communities in Bloom program, growing its reserve base, and acting on any ability it has to collect. Council hopes to see a budget surplus by the end of the calendar year. Municipal Affairs Minister Dan Williams says the outcome was decisive, with a strong voter turnout of 49% of eligible electors taking part. Williams says the province is committed to working with the town going forward. Jeff?
All right, Connor, thank you. Connor Hogg live tonight. Edmonton police have charged 2 people with murder and a death 5 years ago. In May 2021, the body of 55-year-old Alan Freed was found near 93rd Street and 105th Avenue. A medical examiner determined Freed was stabbed. Police have now charged a 44-year-old man and 33-year-old woman with second-degree murder. Both are in custody. Fire has damaged the patio of a local restaurant that shut down over the winter. Edmonton Fire says they got the call just before 10 o'clock last night to El Cortez just off White Avenue. Crews arrived to find the back of the building on fire. It took firefighters about an hour to extinguish it. No one was hurt. The cause is not yet known. Police are investigating and say the fire is considered suspicious. In January, El Cortez said it was temporarily closed for renovations. It has not reopened. The province has awarded 2 multinational companies contracts to oversee employment services for people moving from AISH to ADAP. ADAP, or the Alberta Disability Assistance Program, is the province's new support program for people with disabilities. The majority of people on AISH are moving to ADAP July 1st. ADAP is a program for people deemed to have some ability to work. Procurement documents show companies AKG and Serco have been picked to assist ADAP clients. Their services will include personalized assessments, employment plans, and wraparound supports. The contracts are for 5 years and are together worth nearly $100 million. Edmonton's Food Bank is marking its 45th anniversary with a new campaign focused on keeping kids fed this summer. The summer campaign aims to help families who rely on school meal programs. To honor the Food Bank's anniversary, EPCOR is matching the first $45,000 of donations. The Food Bank says summer can be one of the most challenging times of the year, as more families and organizations turn to them while kids are out of school.
School's out, and ultimately, when school's out, there are a lot of families that struggle because they lose access to school meal programs like breakfast, lunches, snacks, that kind of thing. And so now it's more important than ever before so that no kid goes hungry over the summer.
Edmonton's Food Bank sees an average of almost 50,000 monthly users. Rock climbers from across North America are going nowhere but up in Edmonton. The North American Cup Series is back for a second year, and climbers from the Rockies, Cascades, and Appalachians are here on the prairie competing. Here's Noah Rashog.
Rising above the river valley, rock climbers from across the continent are racing to the top. Mountains aren't needed as the North American Cup Series comes back to Edmonton for a second year.
That means it's one of the few competitions we have in Canada where we have U.S. athletes come up to compete as well. I know last year I had a bunch of U.S. athletes corner me and make a point of telling me how beautiful they thought Edmonton was because of the nice river valley where we're holding the competition.
The competition is one of the events that determines who gets a spot on the Canadian national team.
My goal in long term is to make the lead national team and to make one World Cup. So I want to be invited to one World Cup, and for this I need to make the lead national team.
The climbers are part of a tightly knit international network.
Yeah, I know I have a lot of friends here. We're all coming to compete, a lot of people from British Columbia, so it's a great community. Yeah, I just love all my friends here, and it's just super supportive.
With rain in the forecast, they're hoping for a break in the clouds to allow finals to take place.
That's something we can't control, but we try to do our best through schedule modifications, running stuff earlier, working with the setting team and the athletes and all of hundreds of volunteers to make sure we can give the best experience to the athletes.
A serious competition with real stakes that has brought the climbing community to Edmonton for a sport they love. Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, Josh, beautiful day. You'd never know what was coming unless you asked you, really.
Paid attention to the forecast for a while. I mean, even late at this point last week, we said, you know what, it's going to be wet through the weekend, and next weekend is going to be wet. And I think we might say the same thing here in a couple of minutes. I know no one wants to hear that. Temperatures right now at 24 degrees in downtown Edmonton. That will go down as the daytime high for today. We started the day at 15 degrees. It is a little breezy out there in parts of the province. You've got gusts south of the city to about 40 kilometers per hour. I think, again, tomorrow we're going to see wind gusts to about 40 kilometers per hour. You do have some thunderstorms, non-severe thunderstorms, in through western and northwestern Alberta. You're starting to see a little more thunderstorm activity, though, off to the southeast. Here in the Edmonton area, well, there's really nothing imminent. It would be that stuff around Camrose or towards Stettler. That's what will likely go through here later on this evening. So I think we're probably dry, most of the city, until 8 p.m. 8 p.m. and later. You get a chance of some showers and thunderstorms. And then overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, some heavier, steadier rain. As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, it's probably anywhere between 20 and 50 millimeters of rain through the day tomorrow. And then more rain, although lesser amounts, on the way for Sunday. As far as temperatures, 17 degrees for a high tomorrow, and wind through the afternoon hours gusting to about 50 kilometers per hour. It does get a little bit warmer, back into the 20s Monday, Tuesday of next week. We'll take a closer look at that in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Coming up on CTV News, a bear encounter caught on camera.
No. Go away.
How this hiker and her dog got away after coming face to face with a young grizzly. And
it's like a one-in-a-lifetime thing. You don't get to do it every year, and it's pretty hard to make the team, so.
The puck is dropping on a major North American hockey tournament in our city.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Monday on Your Morning, how bias impacts which pet you're likely to get. Plus, how comments about people's weight can actually push them away from healthy eating and exercise.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A hiker in Kananaskis country captured a frightening bear encounter with a young grizzly. It followed her and her leashed dog for more than a minute before they made it to safety. CTV's Tyler Barrow has more.
No. Go away.
It wasn't the walk in the park Jessie Oakes set out for with her Dutch Shepherd named Skokie. The grizzly charging toward the two. The leashed dog watches even as the bear walks on 2 legs. The incident happened near Mount Engadine Lodge Wednesday around 6 a.m. Oakes did try to distract the bear, throwing her coffee mug to the side.
Go away!
Oakes previously encountered the bear with no issue, but this situation was intense. She said, quote, "I am not losing my dog today. I am not letting him murder my dog."
What I can tell, this bear was perceiving that dog possibly as a food source.
Oakes and Skokie were able to get away, which Titchener says was handled well.
Glad that she had her dog on the leash and that she was trying to let that bear know, hey, get away from me.
Alberta Parks is aware of the encounter. It has put out a bear warning around Mount Engadine Lodge and the area due to this incident. The expert we spoke with says this is another reason for people to be bear aware.
Be really loud and aggressive, trying to get them to leave instead, and use my bear spray if they get within the range. Would have preferred if she had stood her ground and tried to get the bear to leave instead and not had her cell phone out trying to video at the same time as trying to deal with an extremely dangerous situation.
Oakes wants others to learn from what happened. She didn't have bear spray, saying, "There's no excuse for that, even if I was within a minute walk from my residence." In the end, she and Skokie couldn't get back home, instead finding safety in a nearby glamping tent. The bear walked off into the woods. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
The Canadian men's soccer team will face South Africa Sunday in the first FIFA World Cup knockout match in the history of the men's program. The team had a training session in Vancouver today before departing for Los Angeles, where the game will be played. Canada's head coach has said the practices leading up to Sunday afternoon's match will focus on rest, recovery, and re-energizing. The Canadians are traveling to LA after finishing second in their group. Top spot would have kept them in Vancouver. South Africa has never advanced past the group stage, nor has Canada in 3 World Cup appearances. The Canadian players are excited for this historic moment.
The goal was to make it out of the group, and we've never done that before. So I think we all are super proud about that, and now it's about taking each game one at a time and going out there and seeing what we can do in this tournament. I think we can do special things, and it all starts with this next match.
I think for us, it's just being weary of them even when we have the ball, because, you know, you see that game against Korea, most of their opportunities come when they were on the counter, when they were able to win the ball high and attack Korea. So I think for us, it's being mindful of where each of their players are when we have the ball and being ready to react when we lose it.
A victory would send the Canadians to a round of 16 match in Houston against the winner of Monday's Netherlands-Morocco game. It should be a quiet night for the Oilers at the NHL draft, barring a big trade. The Oilers currently have 4 total picks. Their first one, 52nd overall in the second round. The Toronto Maple Leafs picked first overall this year. Pop star Justin Bieber, who was a Leafs fan, was invited by the team to announce the pick.
We would like to draft you to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Gavin McKenna, the heavy favorite to go first overall. In his lone season at Penn State this year, the 18-year-old tallied 51 points in 36 games. 14 hockey teams from Canada and the U.S. are about to go head-to-head at the Brick Invitational Hockey Tournament. Team Brick Alberta revealed its roster this morning. The Brick Invitational is for 9- and 10-year-old hockey players. This is the 37th annual tournament. Many former players have gone on to play professional hockey, including Oilers forward Matt Savoy. He says the tournament is more than just the competition on the ice.
It's just about the relationships you make. I think they last a long time. I still keep in touch with a lot of guys from my brick here, 2014. And I know my brother's the same from 2012. So I know it's going to be a fun week for them, and I wish them the best.
It's like a one-in-a-lifetime thing. You don't get to do it every year, and it's pretty hard to make the team. So.
The opening game is this Sunday. The tournament runs at the Ice Palace in West Edmonton Mall until next Sunday. The Edmonton Elks are unbeaten, winning 3 straight games to open the season for the first time since 2017.
56 seconds. End zone long. Touchdown. TJ Luther has it. And the Edmonton Elks are back in front.
The win came down to the wire last night. Edmonton scored a touchdown with under a minute left to play in the fourth quarter, beating the Blue Bombers 23-18. The Elks will face the BC Lions in Vancouver next Saturday. Still to come, bonding over birdhouses.
I get to meet so many beautiful people by just leaving my garage door open and just playing at something I really like.
Our retirement hobby went from quiet time alone to creating several new friendships.
Yeah, I want them to come here, and if they like it, buy it. And if they don't, hey, have a chat.
The hobby turned into a labor of love coming up.
Now, it was a beautiful day today. Temperatures into the mid-20s. And we'll stay in the 20s, it looks like, for the next few hours. Hurry up, go outside, because the rain's coming. And it's going to be here for most of the weekend. All those details after the break.
Programming brought to you by K-Days. The best 10 days of summer are back. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A man in Sherwood Park is keeping busy during retirement by building birdhouses and selling them to raise money for charity. As Narman Issa reports, it's the bonds he builds along the way that make it worth his while.
At this Sherwood Park home, there's a good chance the garage door is up and John Patton is working on his latest project.
Come out here, turn on the radio until somebody comes, and then I have to turn it down.
Patton has an open door policy.
I get to meet so many beautiful people by just leaving my garage door open and just playing at something I really like.
He builds and sells birdhouses from his garage. There is no website or Facebook page to buy them from, and it's cash only. Patton prefers to meet his customers face to face.
Yeah, I want them to come here, and if they like it, buy it. And if they don't, hey, have a chat.
He started building birdhouses for family and friends during the pandemic. Then it opened up to neighbors.
Pretty well everybody in this whole area is saturated with birdhouses now, because what am I going to do with all these birdhouses that I'm building? And why not do something worthwhile?
Proceeds go to local charities. He says he's raised more than $11,000 so far.
I had a lady come yesterday and 3 or 4 days ago, asked me how much a birdhouse was, and I said $70, gives me $100, says, well, it's going to charity anyway. And so, you know.
The 80-year-old has always kept himself busy.
Well, I enjoyed work so much, I worked till I was 70.
He likes to keep his mind sharp and his hands mobile.
Like you say, how's your hands? If I can get 4 or 5 years, it keeps them working, and why not?
For Patton, this hobby is a labor of love.
The reason I like my work so good, or so much is because back to the people I met.
Building bonds over birdhouses for a senior living on this quiet Sherwood Park street. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
A couple minutes ago, you said, go outside now. Now's the time to go outside. Well, we can't, Josh. We're in here for at least another half hour.
I was outside earlier today. It was glorious. Clouds have increased as expected. We're still at 24 degrees in Edmonton. That is our daytime high for today. 22 to the south in Red Deer. Look at the heat across the north, 28 and 29 in Fort McMurray, and high level for daytime highs. Heat warning remains in effect across the north. It'll be hot there again tomorrow, up around 30 once again. Severe thunderstorm watches for the areas in yellow. And then you see that little orange outline here? That's for the Edson area that stretches all the way east towards Vermilion, Athabasca, south into the Camrose, Rimbey areas, Wainwright as well. In that dark blue zone, an orange level rainfall warning, higher impact from the rain. This is still going to be a lot of rain. This is still 40 to 70. Just a lot of these areas are not, they didn't see as much rain as these areas off to the east and southeast of Edmonton did last weekend. You can see we do have some thunderstorms, though, in through that area. A lot of this thunderstorm activity, non-severe, but it has been going on for a while now in through western sections. So you likely have, from Whitecourt South, already have some pretty significant rainfall totals. Same with the Grand Prairie area. It's noisy and it is wet. Off to the south and southeast of the Edmonton area, you have two little cells here just off to the south-southeast. Looks like those will kind of skirt past the city. And so around Stettler here, that would be, I think, maybe the first shower or thunderstorm activity that we start to see. The timing on this, because of where it's coming from, it's really tough. I think we probably get through to 8 p.m. without anything in most of the city. After 8 p.m., all bets are off. Showers and thunderstorms potentially through the remainder of the evening hours. Steadier rain holds off until midnight or later. Continues through the first half of the day Saturday. There is a chance that the heaviest of this rain actually breaks down and moves out of the Edmonton area tomorrow afternoon. So there may be a couple hours tomorrow afternoon into the evening where it's just cloudy or just sort of drizzly. Then another wave will wash through early Sunday, and by Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, the bulk of that is out of here and things will start to dry up again. There's we showed you the graph model earlier in the day. I don't want to put numbers on this because it's really tough to pin down exactly how much we're going to get. But you can see that bullseye northwest of Edmonton around Whitecourt, and then this kind of stretches southeast towards Coronation. That's where most of the rain is going to fall over the course of the weekend. In Edmonton, roughly 20 to 50 millimeters tomorrow, and then maybe another 10 to 30 potentially on Sunday. 28 in Fort McMurray, 15 for Grand Prairie, and 21 currently in Red Deer. Downtown Edmonton sitting at 24 degrees. We'll stay in the 20s for the next few hours. Get some showers or periods of rain overnight tonight and right through most of the day tomorrow. 20 and some more rain on Sunday. 23s Monday, Tuesday, so it does warm up early next week. We're back to around average, but it's unsettled for next week, so almost every single day has a risk of some late day showers or thunderstorms, and it's a soaker this weekend. You know what? For the third straight weekend, next weekend, July 4th, 5th, that could be another soggy weekend.
Why not? Thanks, Josh. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, a climbing death count in Venezuela.
They're in a state of shock. Some people have lost everything.
Tens of thousands reported missing, and
we will not let it crumble. We will set it right.
The Ottawa home of Canada's Prime Minister is open for renovation bids.
Programming brought to you by the Alberta Securities Commission. Visit checkfirst.ca. Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Nearly 1,000 people are now confirmed dead in Venezuela, killed during twin devastating earthquakes. As ABC's Lauren Glassberg reports, tens of thousands are missing.
Today, the race against time in Venezuela. Rescue workers painstakingly sifting through massive piles of rubble, searching for quake survivors. One of those rescued, a 4-year-old boy, carried to safety. And now search and rescue teams arriving from around the world.
We have a total of 25 teams, both search and rescues and medical teams from across the world deploying with a total of 1,000 rescue personnel.
Multiple teams dispatched from the U.S., the first search and rescue response team arriving today with a dozen trained canines, trained for finding people trapped in the rubble. A website for reporting missing loved ones lists more than 50,000 as unaccounted for, with fears the death toll could increase drastically. New video shows the moment the quake hit. You can hear people screaming, glass shattering, dust from a collapsed building filling the streets. The coastal city of La Guaira hit hardest, building after building flattened. This woman, who says she has multiple family members trapped under the rubble, begging for more help from the government. Saying human strength is not enough. They need heavy equipment to help them with the search. Workers in Florida gathering supplies to aid those displaced.
They're in a state of shock. Some people have lost everything.
The main airport in Caracas suffered catastrophic damage in the quake, complicating search and rescue and aid delivery efforts. Lauren Glassberg, ABC News, New York.
Ukraine launched one of its biggest drone attacks of the war with Russia overnight. Russian defense officials say they intercepted 660 Ukrainian drones in attacks on 12 regions of Russia and in Russian-held parts of Crimea. Meantime, Russia launched drone strikes on several regions of Ukraine. Ukrainian officials say 3 civilians were killed and 20 more were wounded in attacks across the eastern part of the country and Kyiv. Ukraine's defense officials say they stopped 174 Russian drones. And Russia and Ukraine carried out an exchange of prisoners of war today, handing over 160 people on each side. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky shared these images of the Ukrainian soldiers who'd been in captivity since 2022. Ukrainian officials say this was the 76th prisoner exchange between Russia and Ukraine. Prime Minister Mark Carney is launching a national design and build competition to modernize 24 Sussex Drive. It's been nearly 11 years since the last Prime Minister called it home. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on the state of this historic address.
This home is just 1 year younger than Canada. The Prime Minister describes it now as barely held together.
A rare look inside the official residence of the Prime Minister that ended up full of dead rodents, asbestos and mold.
We will not let it crumble. We will set it right.
The Prime Minister announced a competition for Canadian firms to present design and construction plans, with famous Canadian architect Moshe Safdie chairing a jury to assess them.
It's an extraordinary site with extraordinary potential. I think something wonderful can be developed here.
The government believes the cost will be under $50 million and will fundraise most or all of that, promising rules to avoid conflicts.
Individuals and philanthropic organizations, no corporate donations. The list of donors will be public. There will be a limit.
Former occupants Jean Chrétien and Stephen Harper will offer advice. In a statement, Harper told CTV News he's pleased the decision was taken to preserve the property.
Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, who, when they were renegotiating the Constitution to patriate it in 1982, he was in Sussex Drive when Jean Chrétien was making the phone calls back to him to say, is this the deal we want?
Author J.D.M. Stewart says the building is critical to Canadian history.
It is a place where all of our prime ministers since 1951 have made a lot of the decisions and done a lot of the work and greeted heads of government and heads of state from around the world.
When I see the homelessness on our streets and I see the young people who are desperate to start families but can't get a house to do it, I just think the last thing on our minds should be 24 Sussex Drive.
The winning design will be announced on Canada Day next year, 2027. No word on how soon a future Prime Minister could move in. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Former White House National Security Advisor John Bolton has pleaded guilty to mishandling sensitive national security information related to his work during the first Trump administration. Bolton has been an outspoken critic of Trump since he left the White House. Bolton faces a prison term up to 60 months and has agreed to pay $2.25 million. He described the information he retained as, quote, an electronic diary entry that he shared with 2 members of his family. Bolton will be sentenced October 28th. A small plane has crashed into the side of Beijing's tallest building. You see the damage to part of the 109-story tower. Chinese authorities have not shared any information about the crash, including what may have caused it and if anyone not on the plane was injured. Beijing has strict airspace controls. Still to come, a pushback on parking prices works in Sylvan Lake.
Once we made that increase, we heard very loud and clear from our businesses that this was just too far.
Town Council reduces its parking rates ahead of its busiest time of the year. Also,
our hope is that it will remain still for visitors to enjoy.
A push to keep Tyra the T-Rex in her spot in Drumheller.
Programming brought to you by K-Days. The best 10 days of summer are back.
Taking a look at today's market numbers, the Canadian dollar holding near 70 cents U.S. Oil down a couple bucks, closing the day at $69 a barrel. Gold gained just over $48 on the day. TSX up 129 points, the Dow Jones down 44. The town of Sylvan Lake is making paid parking cheaper than originally planned. In April, the town said daily parking fees for Lighthouse Park and Centennial Park lots would be raised to $50 a day. Residents could register to be exempt from the program. Some local businesses were concerned the high fees would drive away visitors. Town Council discussed the concern at its last meeting and agreed to reduce the rate. Lakefront parking is now $40 a day or $10 an hour. The mayor says the charges are in response to feedback.
Once we made that increase, we heard very loud and clear from our businesses that this was just too far, to the point where they were hearing concerns from customers that they were worried it was turning away some of their traffic, and that is definitely not what we're trying to achieve.
The new parking prices take effect immediately. Despite a push to relocate a famous dinosaur that welcomes visitors to Drumheller, the town and its owner are working to keep it in place. Discovery Wildlife Park in Innisfail wants to move Tyra the T-Rex to the central Alberta community. The Drumheller Chamber of Commerce is considering shutting it down in 2029 over maintenance costs. Public outcry prompted a structural assessment which found Tyra is structurally safe. Discovery Wildlife Park says after the lease expires, it would like to move Tyra to Innisfail, where she can join the park's growing life-size dinosaur collection.
So it's, and the more you look at this, you look at the more possibilities there are for this rather than impossibilities. And the more I study it and the more I think about it, the more I think it gets easier and easier.
The Chamber of Commerce says it is entertaining the wildlife park's offer. It hopes to reach an agreement with the town to keep Tyra in Drumheller beyond 2029.
Our hope is that it will remain still for visitors to enjoy. Drumheller has an interest in keeping it, so it definitely would be ideal to see it continue to live here in Drumheller, a longer term life beyond 2029.
About 150,000 people visit Tyra each year. You can climb the steps to her mouth, which serves a bird's eye view of the Badlands. The Military Collectors Club is displaying thousands of artifacts at the Edmonton Inn this weekend. The club's annual convention features medals, military artifacts, and historical documents. The club was founded in 1963. Organizers hope the event gives collectors and veterans a chance to remember the contribution of the Canadian military.
It's very important because a lot of times people tend to forget the participation of Canada in the various world wars or even in the military itself. So by having a show like this, it shows the public that Canada has participated in many different events throughout the world.
The convention runs through Saturday at the Edmonton Inn and Conference Centre. A new interactive sculpture is giving Edmontonians a chance to reflect on their experiences with extreme weather. Created by the Positivity Society, this sculpture features hundreds of reflections from elementary students about their experiences with wildfires, smoke, and flooding. It's all represented through leaves on this interactive tree. Now people are invited to add their own leaves to grow the artwork.
We're inviting the broader Edmonton community and Albertans to come and really contribute and add to this, just so there can be a snapshot for the policymakers, both in our province and in our country, to see where the thoughts of young people are.
The exhibition is open now until September 8th. Still ahead, the role of a lifetime for a young Canadian soccer fan.
This was my dream to go at the World Cup.
Pitch in New Brunswick to the big show in Toronto, how this child got a role to help kick off an upcoming match.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you tonight on CTV. Programming brought to you by the Alberta Securities Commission. Visit checkfirst.ca.
A young New Brunswick boy is getting set to make a dream come true on the world stage. Next week, he'll be an official match ball carrier at a FIFA World Cup game in Toronto. As CTV's Anna Mandon tells us, the boy defied several health conditions.
It's a long way from this empty soccer field in Bouctouche, New Brunswick, to the FIFA World Cup pitch. But next week, 11-year-old Theo Labelle will travel to Toronto to act as the official match ball carrier in a FIFA game, meaning he'll carry the official ball to the referee on the pitch, and in doing so, he'll signal the beginning of the match. That's a big deal to a boy who loves soccer.
This was my dream to go at the World Cup.
But it's a dream that almost didn't happen. Theo was born with multiple congenital malformations, including complex congenital heart disease. He's had 3 open heart surgeries and now lives with a single ventricle heart. And with decreased cardio strength, even recreational soccer is harder for him.
It makes me more tired. I run less fast.
But that hasn't stopped his passion for the sport.
He just loves the game and he shows up, and even if it's hard for him to get the ball, he just keeps going, and just that's what's so amazing about him.
Toronto may be more than 1,000 kilometers from Bouctouche, New Brunswick, but the city has played a big role in the family's story.
Theo had all his life-saving surgeries at Toronto, Sick Kids in Toronto, and we will be back in Toronto, and this time he'll be on the biggest sporting stage in the world, and having a memorable moment.
And he has big plans while he's there, including his hope to meet Croatian soccer player Luka Modric.
Ask for his jersey sign.
A big dream coming true for a boy with his heart very much in the game. Anna Mandon, CTV News, Bouctouche, New Brunswick.
All right, so we still got a little bit of time to get outside and enjoy the last dregs of sunshine, or at least non-rainy weather.
Yeah, there are some scattered showers that'll move in here later on this evening. That'll turn to some steadier rain overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow. 20 to 50 millimeters tomorrow. We'll see a bit more on Sunday. I think all told we get 40 to 80 millimeters of rain by the end of the weekend. Gusty tomorrow as well, and temperatures will be around 17 degrees. Back into the low 20s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Still unsettled for next week, though. Heat doesn't really want to settle in. There's no big ridge that comes through, so you're going to have a chance of some scattered late-day showers or thunderstorms almost every single day next week. But the heaviest, steadiest rain should be done by late in the day Sunday.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Josh, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, check out our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Have a great weekend, everyone.
See you.